Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nerdpocalypse. I love how that guy just like leaned forward for that intro.
Well, I didn't do much. I just leaned forward.
Like he was just leaning back, just sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm chilling, man. Yeah.
Hey, this is some serious stuff. I gotta get in the game for this.
Gotta get in the game.
Yeah, pretending like he's drunk and that he has to now pay attention.
No.
He now has to pay attention.
And surprising, yeah, I'm the only sober one here.
Yeah, well,
Neither of us is drunk.
I know.
Nobody's drunk here.
One ale is not gonna do shit to anybody. Unless, well, I say that, and I've seen people get drunk off of one
Yeah,
drink.
I mean, I've seen people like get drunk off nothing. That's right. They breathe the air.
Yeah,
they breathe the air, and they
What the fuck?
They're called imbeciles.
Imbeciles.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. Right? I've known guys that they will take like a single can of beer, and they're heavily buzzed, and they're not even faking it. You can tell they're actually buzzed.
Damn.
I mean, it's obviously based off your size. Like, if you're a real small dude, you're not gonna have a very high
Yeah,
alcohol
I'm guessing they were
tolerance.
small dudes.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, I'm assuming it was just their first drink, and they were just kind of like, uh-oh, you probably had a bit too much to drink. Yep.
I remember my first drink for my 18th birthday. Well, actually, no. It was like, I think my first drink when I was like 6 years old. My dad comes up to me and is like, here, have a Corona. I take a sip of that. I'm like, oh my god, this is the most disgusting thing ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all get it when we're young.
I mean, yeah, that's actually really common, more common than people would like to believe.
Yeah.
They always say that. I mean, I don't know many people who had not at least had a sip when before they were 10. Mm-hmm. I think that's just very common, actually.
Yeah, my little sister got like her first sip when she was like 3 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's very common, especially in German families.
Oh, yeah,
You'll have
yeah.
wine before you're 10 or 12.
Yeah, it's because in those cultures, like, it's completely okay to drink, and whereas it's like a shunned thing in our culture now for some reason.
Well, it's very normal. For example, in Germany, I mean, and ironically, they have lesser alcohol-related consequences.
All the rest of the
alcohol-related
world
crimes.
does. Yeah.
Well, it's mostly, this is my opinion on it, is that because we demonize it so much,
Oh, yeah.
people end up kind of overdoing it. Mm-hmm. Same with sex.
Yeah.
How in the U.S., sexuality is very, as much as people don't want to admit to it, we are very prudent of a nation. You go to Europe, I mean, there's naked women on billboards.
Yeah.
Naked women on TV.
Yeah, and to them, it's very normal, and conversely, they have lower sexually related crimes because it's so normal. Whereas in the U.S., it's so ostracized and looked at as such an evil thing that people kind of backlash against it.
It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, think of those sex ed classes when you were in like.
I haven't had a sex ed class since like the 6th grade.
Oh yeah, I mean, you were in like elementary school and they were doing sex ed classes.
Yeah, I love that when you go through school, they're so big on sex education. Like you need to know this stuff, but I haven't had a sex ed class like in the past like 10 years.
Well, yeah, it's very odd. They teach you this stuff at an age where you're really not that worried about sex. When you're your elementary school kid, you're what, 10? You're still freaked out by kissing girls.
Exactly.
The thought of sleeping with one is just very foreign.
And not only that, they don't teach you crap.
Oh yeah, no. It's basically don't have sex, it's bad, you'll die if you do.
Pretty much.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, that's all they do is they show you a lot of scary pictures of STDs and like show you all the bad byproducts of sex and all that. But
it's almost like they try to scare you out of it.
Yeah, they try to scare you.
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
They put the fear in.
Yeah, it's very odd. I don't know why they do that, but I mean, I'm assuming it's that whole like prudent nature. They're basically like, no, don't have sex, and then
I can understand that too. Like you do it at a young age where it kind of has a bit more of an impression, but instead of really trying to get kids to steer away from it, it's steering them more towards it when you should prepare them for it.
Well, yeah, because at that age, kids are the whole rebellion phase, so they're like, ooh, rebellion's cool, so what do they do?
I would say like a sex ed class would be a lot more useful in high school let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like to push away from it, but just to prepare them for it. Because you know what's going to happen, so it's best to give them the tools that they need to protect themselves and to try and say, don't do it. Because they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, and not only that, but just like, not like ostracize it so much, make it seem like if you have sex, watch out for these things, but it's okay to do it,
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, I think of as I was graduating high school, I mean, I knew one girl who had a kid for every year of high school.
Okay.
But, I mean, there was talk of when I was graduating high school, middle schoolers were getting pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
And
Happened
moving
in my
back.
middle school too.
Telling you, those hormones and those McDonald's Happy Meals, man.
well, I mean, the real problem is you just look at it and you're like, these people need to kind of stop looking and it's like, oh, well, kids don't have sex. Kids do.
Yeah.
Like, I really think we need to, especially as a culture, as everyone just need to agree, yeah, kids are going to have sex. There's nothing we can do to stop it.
Yeah, and it has never changed throughout history. Like back in the Pilgrim era, I guess you can call it that, when people were first colonizing, you would think that they're very like careful about that, but they weren't. They would marry their kids at very young ages, like 13 to 15 years old, because that's when they start doing it.
All right, well, you got to think in the U.S., contrary to popular belief, age of consent laws are not as high as people think. Like, there's always the classic 18 years old. 18 years old only applies to porn. For a woman to be in porn, for a man or a woman to be in porn, they have to be 18. But age of consent in, I think, 30 to 31 states is 16.
Oh,
and
yeah.
8 more of those states, it's 17. So it's actually the minority of the states in the U.S. that age of consent is 18. Which is understandable for the aspect of porn, they have to be 18. But, I mean, you look at it and you're like, these people are freaking out about 16-year-olds having sex. And you're kind of thinking, you know, under U.S. law, that's legal.
Yeah, it is.
That is not illegal. I mean, yeah, in some states it's illegal. But, for example, here in Texas, it's 17.
I also think it's partly due to because we have a very Christian background in our country, and it's very shunned upon until like having sex until marriage, and like I come from a very Christian background, and it makes sense, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit my family is very Christian, but I mean, admittedly I lost my virginity when I was very young, and conversed to some of that. But I think for me it was because I wasn't as much raised on it, and when I was that age, I just did it because it was natural. Which is understandable, but yeah, I mean, I know people who are like that. They're like, yeah, you can't have sex until you're fucking 25 or some shit. But I mean, part of me believes that I don't agree with the whole wait till marriage, because I think a sex life is a very important part of a relationship. If you don't have a sex life, a relationship's going to go south, actually. Especially if you're not, because I mean, some people just aren't sexually compatible. You know it. You've dated those women where you just two were not sexually compatible.
Yeah.
And it's normal, it's understandable, and if you don't have that and you don't realize it till marriage, you're in for a very loveless marriage. So that is definitely one thing that I look at and is like, that's a bit risky. I mean, yeah, if you want to do it, go ahead. More power to you. I definitely agree with that. I mean, if it's your life, do whatever the hell you want, especially with this whole gay marriage argument. I just look at them as like, nobody's going to tell me what I'm going to do in my bedroom. Why should we tell anyone else? It's kind of stupid.
I agree.
Whether you agree with it or not, I mean, there's no reason to make a law on shit you don't agree with.
Oh, exactly.
Like, I mean, I'm a Christian, and I like, you know, I conform to the Bible, and but I don't like, I still don't agree that we should have laws to keep people from getting married.
Oh no, exactly.
Same sex, like that's not our call. Like if they don't conform to Christianity, that's okay. You know, that's what our country was founded on, and yet there's still people in this country who like shun other points of view and think that Christianity's all right, and that's not what our country was founded on. Like if you follow Christianity, you know, that's great, but this is supposed to be land of the free, not land of the Christians.
Oh yeah, well it's because a lot of people don't know about the Treaty of Tripoli, which was signed by a president. It basically states the United States was not founded upon the Christian religion. Mm-hmm. That's the Treaty of Tripoli. It's an actual official government document.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people forget that. They think, it's a Christian nation. It's actually not, because the U.S. government has an official stance on that it is not. It's a neutral party.
And it gives us the right to practice religion freely.
Yeah, well, it's like the whole concept of freedom of religion is not to crush any one religion. It's just to keep from instituting a law that supports one.
Yeah.
So, realistically, it's kind of like, it's such a stupid argument of like, well, it's against the Bible, and it's like, that would be instituting a law towards one religion, which would be inherently illegal under the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
So, that's definitely one thing people forget about.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad, like, the Supreme Court ruled out that gay marriage ruled that gay marriage is legal.
Yeah, which is going to always be fought by individuals on the state level.
Yeah. But that's states for you, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the balance of power in that, yeah, federal laws exist, but the states themselves have to actually, enforce those laws. And if they don't enforce those laws, well, good luck. Because you'll notice there are certain federal laws that just aren't enforced.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for example, this was before our time, but when my dad was younger, in Louisiana, the alcohol for the drinking age was 18. Well,
wow.
guess what? The federal law was still 21. But in Louisiana, if you were 18, you could have a drink. It didn't matter because guess what? The state enforced their own law. So, I mean, that's a very interesting, that's that argument of states' right versus federal rights. I mean, and that's an argument that will never be won. The Civil War shown that because, yes, ignoring the slavery aspect of the Civil War, because obviously that was a big part, but states' right was also a very integral part of that war. I always hate that people are like, no, states' right wasn't an important part of the Civil War. Yes, it was. That's the reason they went to war.
Yeah.
Slavery wasn't it. It was states' rights.
Yeah, it was states' rights to have slavery, which basically just boils down to states' rights.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the Southerners were like, we don't want slaves. No, they were going, you're basically telling the states that we don't have our own rights. That's why states seceded. And I mean, that's why Texas had its whole snafu with, we were going to secede from the Union, which Texas actually can't.
Yeah.
Texas, when the Civil War was done, there was a law created that the Texas cannot, I think none of the states that seceded from the Union originally are allowed to secede now, which obviously is stupid because guess what? If they want to secede, they're going to secede.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one of those very stupid laws. Kind of like
it
it's not
is.
gonna
If
stop
you get
them.
enough people together that agree on it, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't. I do hope that.
Hopefully it doesn't.
We most assuredly
That'll
do not
cause
need
a
a second
lot
Civil
of
War.
problems.
Well, that would be that'd be the bloodiest war. That would beat the Civil War in bloody because of the modern technology and firepower capable. Because I mean, Texas has a very large National Guard. Obviously, I'm in it. I'm part of the 36th Infantry Division. But at the end of the day, the federal military is significantly bigger.
Yeah.
Combined with the fact of guess what? You
Yeah.
also have every other state's National Guard.
And exactly, and even on a wider scale of that, if states from the U.S. start seceding and we go into war with ourselves, other countries are gonna take notice of that shit.
Oh yeah,
Take
someone else will
advantage of
get
that.
involved. Very quickly, I could see a bigger nation getting involved in a civil war in the U.S. because it would be a very weakened point for us.
Yeah.
So somebody, I mean, you got Russia, China, maybe even North Korea could get ballsy enough to step in on that because it'd be a huge opening for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely, it would be a very worrisome situation because right now the balance of power across the planet is very unstable because all the superpowers are kind of looking like, hey, what way can we take out the competitor? That's a very kind of a spooky thought. I mean, we've got 4 airborne companies actually moved into Europe just a little while back because they're kind of worried about Ivan making a move into Europe. So we've got some infantry companies sitting up in Europe just kind of waiting. I think they're in Poland right now.
Yeah.
They're just kind of chilling, waiting to see if Ivan's going to do anything. That's kind of a worry right now. Because if Ivan steps up, I mean, two superpowers going at it, Russia and the U.S.,
It's not gonna be pretty.
you could have that would be a serious world war right
Yeah,
there.
it'd be a third world war.
Yeah, because, I mean, all you would need
because
is a
at that
single-
point, if Russia and the U.S. go to war, people are gonna start taking sides, and
you'd have another Franz Ferdinand incident
Much.
of one spark starts a world war.
Yeah.
Because entangling alliances kick in and everyone picks their side and beats the crap out of each other.
pretty much.
And I mean, that would really worry me because of the sheer amount of firepower available to these superpowers.
Yeah, like both of the, like, I'm not aware of this, but do either us or Russia still have nuclear capability? Like,
yeah.
Significantly.
yeah, like
we
that's
have
what
a
I figured.
huge
Like
nuclear arsenal.
we promised that like we wouldn't, but like of course.
No, yeah,
it
we
makes
promised
sense
that we
wouldn't.
won't fire unless fired upon.
Yeah. Well, that's where the concept of mutually assured destruction comes from.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever seen it, the nuclear clock, it goes up based on how close we are to mutually assured destruction. I think the closest was during the Cold War. It goes to midnight. And the closer it is to midnight, the closer it is to mutually assured destruction. I think at one point it was at like 11:50. I think that was during the Cold War. But yeah, I mean, that's a big worry because all it's going to take is someone launches a significant amount of nukes. Well, the other nation knows they're not going to be able to shoot them down, right? So you know you're screwed. So what are they going to do? 9 times out of 10, they're going to respond with their own weapons fire and basically kind of a taking you with me kind of moment.
Yeah.
You look at the enemy and you go, man, you're going to take me out, but guess what? You're coming down with us. And you just launch the whole nuclear arsenal.
And it just cascades into madness.
Oh yeah, destroy the planet.
Yeah.
Very quickly you would destroy the planet because our ecosystem is already...
Yeah, our ecosystem
It's already
very,
really damn fragile from all the
It's
pollution
pretty
that's been
compromised
going
at
on.
Well,
It's
it's always been very fragile. I mean, think about the ecosystem. If you remove one piece from it, it falls apart. Ecosystems are incredibly fragile, and the problem is you would remove large sections of the ecosystem under a mutually assured destruction scenario. The planet would become uninhabitable in all probability.
Be like Fallout.
Worse, significantly. No one would survive.
Oh dang it!
That'd be
I wanted
cool.
to go around with my minigun.
That was a really good game, though.
I loved him.
I love Fallout, but yeah, I mean, I would be very worried about fucking World War III under that concept of like. That's why I personally very much so believe we need to get off the rock, because if we don't get off of this planet, we're kind of fucked. What's up, Dana Banana?
Do you want to pause it?
You can talk, hun.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I take your car and drive Precious back? Because I don't want her to walk, and the map road's gonna take.
No,
forever,
she's gonna have to
and
stay here
She's gonna
and-
wanna walk.
Carry her.
I'm not strong enough.
Either
She's
you
strong
carry
enough
her
to
or
go
she
and
stays
carry
here
you.
and.
This is your kitchen. Nasty.
As you can see,
This is-
she's having a little crazy moment. She's never been in a suite before.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in a suite,
Precious
but
is
not
freaking
like
out.
an apartment.
She's freaking out quite a bit.
Oh, that's a bathroom.
Oh my god, I have never seen a woman be so excited about a bathroom.
Their bathroom is cleaner than yours. Well, it has more stuff in it.
It has more
Yeah.
stuff. Ours is just
But only
empty.
'cause it's fridge.
She is so excited about that.
Huh?
Pretty sure they bought-
It's like she's never seen a kitchen
Get
before.
together.
She's sitting there like looking at the kitchen
Air
like,
quotes.
oh my god, it's fabulous.
Oh, yeah,
my God.
we got washers and dryers.
She's opening doors and crap.
She's gonna go through everything.
She's like the friend you bring over, you have to get a padlock for your cabinet for.
No, because I don't steal shit.
That's good.
She's a good little girl.
High quality.
To really enjoy.
We went from discussing World War III and mutually
I know,
assured
man.
destruction to.
Here on the Nerd Podcast, we talk about the big
First
issues.
we talked about alcohol, then went to World War III, and then now it's about cabinets.
I know how the that's crazy how the progression went from alcohol all the way to World War III.
Well, I mean, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
It was only very natural progression. That's why it's kind of funny. It was a very natural progression.
He cuts it out.
What?
I didn't know.
Most of the stuff is probably just gonna stay in.
I mean,
here.
there's no point in me cutting your voice out.
Yeah, it's all fun, right?
It's a podcast.
Hey, if they get famous for these videos, they need to give you some sort of percentage. You're in it.
No, it doesn't work that way.
I did something.
You don't get shit.
You don't want to be in it.
Unless
so.
you get me a bottle of scotch, you ain't getting a damn thing.
I'm younger than you. You're gonna be able to actually get some before I can.
Oh, okay.
Are y'all putting that on YouTube or?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
It's already on. Most of these are. We already have. How many episodes?
This is like 7.
All
All right,
this is the seventh
Precious.
episode.
You're addressing the world right now. What do you want them to know?
I think the world is shit.
She is a dancer. I know.
We've actually already like summed up the world as shit.
Yeah,
We've already
pretty
said
much.
that. We've already said that with our whole fight with Ivan right now. I really don't like Ivan. I'm not gonna lie. Really don't.
Yeah,
Especially their whole incident with Crimea and
See,
fucking
I-
Ukraine.
Is he Ivanese?
Ivanese. That's Fadonia.
This is fun.
I just don't like him because of this whole stupid, like, we keep letting them advance into nations. I mean,
Oh,
Crimea.
it's a lot like
Well,
World War II
Crimea was just
going
kind of
on.
Oh, yeah, like how we allowed
just let
Hitler
him
to
go.
do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was like how with Hitler, when he started hitting Poland and stuff, we just basically let him go.
Yeah, and that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, we were trying to kind of appease Hitler and be like, oh yeah,
Did we
just
let
go
Dana go? Yeah,
No.
he's getting ideas.
No, they aren't.
Berries.
Transition.
What?
What?
I don't even know what they're going on about.
I was-
Too sober for this shit. This is your body.
I know. We were at Berries lecture and you were like,
Oh.
don't get any ideas.
Wait,
Oh.
for what?
I don't remember. Something about
She's
bombs.
she's rambling. Just ignore her. She doesn't even know what she's talking about, and she can't deny it.
I can't even remember.
I don't.
I remember telling you something. Don't get any ideas.
And they're the sober ones in the room.
Yep.
You're not drunk, honey. boo.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, nobody
But she
here's
doesn't do
drunk,
anything.
and we're back to square one. Nobody here's drunk.
That is true.
That's where we started off.
And in this room, there's only
We've gone full circle.
one person who's been late.
I just realized that. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, like 1, 2, 3.
I'm not
5
even the
people.
most handsome dude in the room, and I'm the only one who's
Oh,
been
you're the
late.
most handsome. You got those calves.
I do have sexy calves. I have sexy calves. I won't lie. But you got me beat on being handsome, so it's kind of
Whatever.
like. I mean, you got the
Bullshit.
face. I don't have the face.
Faces don't mean nothing. Girls
No
want them
comment.
dick.
So can I drive her back?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
just-
you're driving?
I don't trust.
You guys, I don't want to die. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
even Precious responds with, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die" when Dana drives.
Dude, Dana's a bad driver. I believe this.
Oh,
I mean, I've never actually seen her drive, but part of me, like, instinctually doesn't want to ride with her.
I was in the car. I was
I've
scared.
driven all 3 of them before, and you're looking at them, so you'll be
Oh,
safe.
that's why they're messed up. And then
Oh, I mean, Jared.
Yeah, because she gave us concussions from like
Yeah, my wallet's in
too
my-
many babies or something.
That's true. That is really sad though. How
Check
like
my desk.
Well, I mean, the only reason you haven't been late is because you've chosen not to.
Yeah, because well, I'm a Christian.
Yeah, inherently, it's not that you can't have been late. It's you've chosen not to.
Yeah, like I've had opportunities where I almost did, and
Whereas-
I turned them down.
I see the opportunity and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Because you're thirsty.
That's besides the point. It's true, but it's besides the point.
I want to hear this.
Hun, do you want to talk?
No, I want to hear. I want to listen.
Well,
Just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. That's
You'll have the option of skipping through the boring parts.
Okay.
Ouch.
I want to see it live in action.
Then stick around. It'll be a lot of fun.
That is true. It will be on YouTube tomorrow. Hun.
No,
it'll-
YouTube's not the same as like looking at y'all saying it.
Then stick around. It'll be a lot of fun.
On YouTube they put
I've
pictures.
seen that showing interest in this.
There's adorable pictures of corn yeast.
Don't worry.
Yeah, there are a lot of adorable pictures of
Turn
corgis.
his head
What
around.
are quirky?
Or my
No,
head.
his head around.
Where the hat sideways? Where the hat sideways? What's up? We scared the girls away.
Yeah.
Don't kill her.
Good job. Good job, Pie. You scared the girls away.
I'm great at scaring women away.
But you're also good at keeping them.
Somehow. I don't even know how.
It's because those calves.
It really is. It
Sexy
must be my
calves.
sexy calves that keep women
You
around.
probably want to make out with your calves.
Because it sure as hell ain't my face. It sure as hell ain't the money. So I gotta be doing something
So
right.
you must have one hell of a personality.
Yeah, really, I either got a 10-inch dick or a great personality. One of the fucking two.
We'll let the
I'm not gonna
we'll let
speculate.
the audience decide that.
Everyone's going, he has a shitty personality, so. That's what everyone is thinking right now.
10 inches.
Everybody in the podcast, everyone who's listening to this is going, this dude's an asshole, so there's no way it's that.
So if this actually gets some views, we're gonna have everybody in the comments being like, "Yep, 10 inch, 10 inch."
I would die. I would fucking die laughing. And every single one of my ex-girlfriends, if they figured out who it is, would be like, what the hell?
They'll be like, "Bullshit."
Depends on the girls. Some girls would like do their best to humiliate me, and some girls would be like, "Oh my god, yeah!" Like they would roll with it and try to make me seem fabulous. Fabulous.
Try to make you seem like sexy. Man.
I'm sexy Batman.
Here is an example. This is your body without father.
Yeah, really. It's like sound effects.
Sound effects are amazing.
See, the sad thing is, guess what? He's like this when he's sober. I want to know what he's like when he's drunk. I really
It'd be
do.
very interesting to see.
I just
don't
want to
know.
see you completely.
I want to see
blitzed.
myself drunk.
I've
I've put a
seen-
video camera up and I want to see how I behave.
Okay, we'll get you blitzed and then we'll get a video.
I've
camera.
seen some people who are pretty crazy sober and then they get drunk and it just goes downhill.
Oh, in a good way or a bad way?
Bad way.
Oh.
Bad way.
Well, yeah, I know some people who get blitzed.
That's-
Like, I love the I love you drunks. Those guys are awesome.
Oh yeah.
Or there's the rodeo clown drunks, the dude who are the guys who basically the night starts with "Here, hold my drink" and goes downhill from there.
So here, hold my drink. Watch this.
Yeah, I can promise you, every time I've heard someone say that, it has ended horribly.
Yeah, something bad happened.
But it's been funny though.
Oh God, yeah. Like, if you're in a bar and you hear, "Hey, hold my drink and watch this," it's going to end in hilarity or a hospital visit or both.
Probably both.
Because, I mean, it's just, drunks are totally, like, this is what I like to believe. Alcoholics are the rodeo clowns of the real world. They're the ones who are just going to do the stupid shit none of us else will do.
Oh.
Like trying to put on a hat.
Putting the hat on
That guy's got his hat back.
Yeah.
It's my lucky hat.
But you know it's true. Alcoholics are totally the rodeo clowns of our universe.
Pretty much.
Man.
They're the ones who are going to do the stupid shit none of the rest of us will do. Because, I mean, I know I'm not going to do it. If I'm sober, I'm not going to do stupid shit. But then you get some of those dudes who get blitzed and they're just like, woohoo! Coming off a fifth of vodka and looking at that girl going, "You're good." You see Big Mama walking by and then
Oh,
beer
God.
goggles kick in. Oh, man, I've seen some dudes come out on a walk of shame and land whales in that bedroom.
Oh hell.
I've met some guys, yeah, like...
I think you land a 10 and then in the morning that 0 goes away.
Yeah, fucking true. I've seen some. I always laugh because one of the dudes he described his night with a girl because we had hung out and I left the party early because I think I had to wake up early the next morning. And I found him the next day and I was like, "So, dude, how'd your night go?" And he's like, "I went to sleep with a 10 and woke up with a 3." I was like, "Damn, you must have been drinking." Yeah, I think he had a lot of liquor. I'm surprised he didn't get whiskey dick either. Because apparently they went at it like rabbits all fucking night long.
Damn.
And the best part is, she called him.
Damn.
I always made that joke. I'm like, men, do not fuck the ugly girl, because yes, I know that's the only chance you're gonna get laid. But guess what? When you get home, she's gonna call you. Like, you gotta remember that. If you're gonna fuck her, make sure you're willing. Make sure you want her to call you. Because if you don't want her calling you, you probably shouldn't be sleeping with her.
And she's probably gonna call you.
Yeah, and then she's gonna be the one who calls you. And hopefully it's not, oh shit, I'm pregnant.
Oh.
Because I know some guys who've done that one before too. Especially come to school in the morning and they're like, guys, I gotta tell you something. The fuck's up? Why you look so sad? Man, I knocked up so and so. God damn it, you're fucking 16. Like, dude, come on.
Sucks to suck.
Well, it's like the one chick I mentioned who had 4 kids. I mean, I remember being a senior going, there is no way in hell this girl's gonna have another baby. Like fucking September, I'm pregnant, everybody. Oh my god. Like, seriously,
She
woman?
wants to have kids.
She must have, but it was just one of those moments. You're like, hun.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad because like when I left high school, like 2 years from now, like all my like a good majority of my friends are either married with kids, and I'm like, really? Like you guys are like 20 right now.
Oh yeah, I've realized that. I think that's kind of the first moment you realize you're in grown-up land, when most of your friends are getting married or having kids. Like you see shit on Facebook, oh, I'm getting engaged, or oh, I'm having a kid, and I'm sure
it's like, it's not like oh, I'm like 35 with a career, and it's like, oh, and all my friends, I'm going to reunions, and like, oh, they're all married. No, we just graduated.
Yeah, really.
And they're married with kids.
Oh god, yeah. Well, I knew one girl who, like, I'm a senior in high school, and she got I think she got married, and we were like, she was a sophomore, I was a senior.
Oh,
I was looking at him like, hun, why are you getting married? Well, I love him. I'm like, how long you two been dating? 2 months.
Oh my
The
god.
fuck? And they ended up getting married. I think they got divorced damn near faster than they dated. I know. I mean, it's sad because I realize this. I'm 20, and some of my ex-girlfriends are on their second husbands.
Oh my goodness.
I remember one of my exes, I ended up seeing her, I think a year after we'd broken up, and she had gotten married. I was like, oh, congrats, you got married, whatever. And then, like, a year later, I'm talking to her, and I'm like, why the hell did you change your name back to Resler? And then she's like, oh, we got divorced. The fuck? And she's getting married again.
Oh, see, that's one thing I don't like about, like, where things are turning, because, in my opinion, marriage is supposed to be something, permanent, and not something temporary, like, oh, I got married. It's not like...
It's not like Kim Kardashian's 30-minute wedding.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you're supposed to get married. Like, oh, I've been married to this person for a few years, and I'm gonna divorce them. It's like dating almost. It's not even
that marriage was hilarious. Most warranties last longer than that marriage.
That marriage is short. I mean, I just don't want to get married anytime soon.
Oh, was that the marriage with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West?
It was like, wasn't it less than a month?
Yeah, it was like it was about like 30-some days. I think.
Yeah, it was.
I'm probably wrong, but
I remember it was less than a month.
It was really short.
Yeah, it was a hot minute.
And they made fun of it on SNL a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, no.
I love those skits. I love those skits. Like, oh yeah, or I can't even do it. Like, Nassim Pedrod's really good at Kim Kardashian.
I don't think it was Kanye. I think it was like some just random athlete. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad. But I mean, I cannot. For me, like, I'm 20 years old. I do not want to get married. I just don't.
No.
Like, I know these people are like, I want to get married. I'm 20. I'm getting old. I'm like,
no, you got at least.
You're 20 fucking years old.
You got a good 50 years ahead of you.
Like, no, I don't want to get married at 20.
Live it up now. Do what you got to do. Then settle down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 27, 30. Yeah, maybe I'll think about getting married. But like 20, hell no, I don't want to get married. I haven't met a girl that I would want to get married to. But
yeah, me neither.
I mean, maybe if I met a woman that I really wanted to, maybe then I would understand why these people get married like that. But
yeah, I
mean, I'm just sitting here like, I mean, I've dated some beautiful women. I've dated some great women for a long period of time, 2.5 years. And even then, I'm sitting here going, nah, would I want to, looking back on it, should I have married him? Hell no.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen, like, plenty of people, were high school sweethearts and, ended up getting married and are perfectly happy now, but that's...
I've also seen it end in a beautiful fireball.
Yeah.
I knew one set of high school sweethearts that got married right after high school. They lasted, I think, 7 months.
Damn.
Because they make the classic mistake all couples do and forget that living with someone is different than dating them.
Yes.
Like, you live with someone, it's not just the good sides, you see the bad sides too.
I know. When you date someone, all you see is the good, and you're like, romantic, got me flowers. Now when you're living with them,
oh god, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
I mean,
why.
a different
And that's why I
story.
think dating's important and stuff, and so you can at least like see what they're like.
Oh yeah, well that's one thing I see a lot of people argue against is the concept of moving in with a girl before marrying her.
Yeah,
because a
def-
lot of Christians don't agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my parents don't agree with that.
But I look at it, I'm like, how are you gonna know if you can live with this woman if you haven't lived with her?
Oh yeah, I know it's like it's something that when my faith like you gonna marry a girl, you marry her. But yeah, I'd rather move in with a girl, spend a couple months with her before I finally decide I want to marry this girl and make sure
Hopefully
it's
she's
gonna
moving
work.
with me because I would feel like shit if I moved in with
Yeah.
a girl.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I mean that's just that stupid. I mean, with saying with me like that, yeah, I'm gonna sleep with a girl before I marry her because I mean, if I had to wear a white dress, guess what? That fucker would be black. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just like I look at that and I'm like, you know what? I would rather know it's gonna work than think and hope it's gonna work.
yeah.
I'd rather be very guaranteed on that shit. Like, guess what? I'm not gonna marry a girl. I'm not gonna think about it unless I'm damn sure. Because I do not want to go through the nightmare that is a divorce.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I
remember
it's
my
worse
dad.
For it's worse
Third
for the
time's a
girls
charm.
though. Oh, I don't know. I'm not no expert on it, but like my mom, like when she got divorced, like she went through hell to get her name changed back and stuff, and yeah, it was not a good time for anybody.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I always joke with my dad because it's third time's a charm. He's getting married for the third time this
wow.
year, and I laugh.
Third time this year?
No, for the third time the marriage is this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I realize it was the way I said it, but yeah, I mean,
Three times in 1 year. That's a.
I'd be impressive. That'd be Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
God.
But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
one thing I hate is divorce because even though it's horrible for both parties, I always think it's worse for the family because you're stuck there and you got to pick a side because like crap and most times my blood will stick with blood, but
well, I mean, with me, for example, I mean, my parents divorced. Obviously, I stuck with my dad, but
Yeah.
at the same point, I mean, would I have rather have grown up in a more family nucleus? Yeah, I would have rather have grown up with a mother if given the chance. But that's why, obviously, when I have children, hopefully way the fuck down the line, I don't want kids right now. But yeah, I mean, I would hope that my children get to grow up with two parents. And hopefully a parent that's actually fucking there. Because, I mean, I think my childhood, my dad, he's Air Force. He's active duty. He was always working. Summers, it was like a month off in the summer when I got to be with my dad. If not, I was in daycare all day.
No, yeah. It was the same thing with my dad. Like, even my dad was out of the military by that time, but he was a commercial driver, so he was always driving. So yeah, like he'd be home like most nights, say on the weekends. But there was times that I wouldn't see him for a while.
Yeah, that's one thing I definitely hope I can get for my kids one day. That's always one thing that you kind of, especially I guess you realize that as you grow older. Good God,
Yeah.
dude, you and that fucking table.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's definitely one thing you don't realize as a kid. That I mean, I guess it's as you get older because I mean, you think when you're in high school, you're not thinking about having kids.
No.
But I mean, you hit 20 and you're kind of going, you know what? Maybe I should think about the things I'm gonna have to do when I have a kid.
Yeah.
I realized that. I think adulthood, the moment that I knew I was an adult, it hit me during basic. Because I remember sitting down with Pops, who was he was the old guy in the platoon. He was 30 years old. I remember talking to him one time, and I think we were out in the field, and I just remember looking over at him after one of the marches. We were down for chow. I looked at him. I go, this really is kind of the moment it hits you that you're an adult. You're not a kid anymore. Because I mean, especially I was in Fort Benning, Georgia. I was 1,000 miles away from home. I hadn't seen my parents in, I think at that point, in like 2.5 months.
Damn.
I mean, and you were out in the field training to learn how to kill people. That was definitely the moment for me that hit me. It was kind of like, yeah, you're an adult now. You're not a kid. And I mean, I realize a lot of college students don't get that feel because especially here at UT, I mean, lots of kids are right next to their family and they go home every weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I guess partially I'm lucky my old man's 1,500 miles away because I'm on my own. I'm financially independent. I have my own apartment. Guess what? When there's holidays, it's me. I'm here. There's I'm home. Whereas I hear a lot of people here, they talk about going home for the summer or
Yeah.
going home for the weekend. Like for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, I go home. I walk to my apartment because I'm home.
Yeah, like I consider Brazos to be my home, but this summer I'm not taking any classes, so I have to go back to Houston, and I'm gonna feel like a kid again. I'm gonna live with my parents.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love my parents, but I don't like being a kid underneath them.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing I definitely realized when I spent some time home after basic was that you get so used to living under your own roof that living under someone else's roof is really shitty. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how people do it. They'll go home like every fucking weekend to see their parents, and I'm like,
I would
hate
hate
that.
I still do it. Like now, I'm kind of pulling away a little bit. Like, I don't go home as often like as I used to. Like when I first came here, I'd go home like every week, like every weekend or every other weekend.
Oh,
but
God.
now I go home like once a month. And
Yeah.
soon enough, it's gonna be even longer than that. Cause like I know this year with how my financial aid's looking, I'm pretty much not going home unless it's like important holidays.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's definitely, I just like it because I like that financially, being independent.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling as an adult
Oh yeah,
instead
everybody
of.
wants that kind of like independent feeling.
I mean,
That's
it's
one reason
hard,
why
but-
we go to college.
Yeah.
So that sense of independence.
It's just that whole like going home. Like I see people that do it every weekend. I'm like, how do you? Because there's no way you feel like an adult.
Yeah.
Because you're not fully.
That's the one thing about
independent.
going home is you lose that sense of independence because when you go home you're being dependent. So.
Yeah. Whereas I mean, I can look at
Which
it. And
in some
go,
of it I don't mind. Like I'm grateful for all the shit my parents do for me.
Oh, I love being financially independent because there's just something about it. I like that at the end of the day.
Oh yeah,
I
it's-
pay
it's-
my bills.
Yes, definitely. It gives you that great feeling like yo, I did this. And, yo,
Yeah.
I've done something. I don't need someone else to pay for my shit.
Yeah, like I want to do something. Guess what? I mean,
Yeah.
I pay my bills. I do all this shit. It's my house. Like that apartment.
Like I want to
is
go buy
mine.
something. I'm gonna go do something. Yeah, it's my money. I earned it.
I
Yeah.
can come home at the ass crack in the morning, and guess what? Ain't nobody there to bitch me out because it's like, it's just me.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, shit. I'll probably be getting home at like 2 a.m. I'm not like I'm complaining. I don't have class till 10, so I'm not complaining.
I have class at 9:30.
Or class at 11. But I mean, I really love that independent feeling. And now that is one thing that it's a thing I wish I could impart onto other people,
Yeah.
is that feeling from basic of adulthood. Because I think there are few moments in your life that you can truly feel like an adult, and is that being 19 years old, 18 years old, 17 years old, and having an NCO talk to you, okay, who do you bequeath your body to when you die? And where's the money who do we give the money to if you are killed in training? And having that moment of being at Honor Hill, standing
Yeah.
there and kind of,
You really gotta makes you think.
well, and it also, part of it is that you're sitting there going, I'm an adult now, and it's also something I would love to send to young boys, is this concept of manhood. And that a lot of people nowadays think of manhood as you fuck a woman, or you shoot someone, or you're a gangbanger or some shit. And I see people that, like, I work at Walmart with, that have been there for 10 years, they're 30, 40 years old. But I wouldn't call them men.
Yeah.
Because I look at them and I'm like, well, what have you done with your life? Well, I got out of high school and I worked at Walmart for 20 years. What have you done with your life? And I just look at it and I'm like, that's a concept that I think a lot of people have trouble understanding. Like, you see these kids at college, and I call them kids because at the end of the day,
They are, yeah.
yeah, I mean, you're a college kid. You haven't yet done anything. And
Yeah.
even,
to be honest, like I wouldn't argue with it. Yeah, I'm a kid. Like, oh, I go home, go see my parents. Yeah, they pretty much pay my bills, other than what I get out of financial aid.
yeah, that's why, I mean, people ask me to, like, do am I a boy? No, I've earned my title as a man. And I wouldn't say that I gave myself the title, because the reason I call myself a man is not because of going through basic, it's because of my senior drill sergeant saying it to me. I remember standing at Honor Hill and Drill Sergeant Gibson shaking my hand and saying, you're a man now. You're an infantryman. You've earned your title. You've earned your place. You've earned man. You've earned your manhood. And I think that was a very powerful moment, and something I wish people could get that moment of clarity, of understanding what being a man means and what being an adult is, because understanding responsibility is a nightmare.
Responsibility sucks.
Because, yeah, I mean, college, even for most college students, there's very little responsibility involved. Yes, there's classes, but, I mean, you don't know responsibility until you're looking at bills. You're looking at, how am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay for these classes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very scary feeling.
Because I have a lot of friends here that are pretty much up here on their own. You know, like they got to find a way to put food on the table every day. And
Oh, there was a period there for me earlier in this year where I was literally sitting there going, I was $400 down, and I was kind of waiting for tuition assistance to come in, because I was like, if this doesn't come in, I'm screwed, because I'll have nowhere to live, I'll have no food. I mean, I've had moments like that where you're sitting there going, shit, like, how am I going to make ends meet?
Yeah.
That is definitely being an adult.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I have a number of friends who have everything paid for because
Yeah.
their parents are very funded.
Yeah, really. That's
Yeah,
a nice
and
way
so
of putting it.
and so, but if you look at the way they act, they're not very mature at all. They,
No, yeah.
they're great guys and everything, but they're very immature. They party all the time. They smoke all the time. They drink all the time.
Yeah, and that's one thing I don't like about some of those kids. Like, they have everything handed to them. Like, oh, you go to college, learn, do what you want to do, but, don't worry about paying for anything because it's done. Sometimes, they just need to come up here and learn that it's not a bunch of cupcakes. You got to put some hard work into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why I say some kids need that, like that. They need that sense that they need to learn how to become an adult. They need to learn that to find their independence.
Well, it's losing your safety net.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the guys here have a safety net at the end of the day. Where, for me, the only thing keeping me alive, I got a job. Like, guess what? End of the day, I have a job. That's how I live. That's how I put food on my table. And it's just part of that concept of growing up. And you think, what? 2 years ago, we were still in high school, sitting around kind of... you weren't thinking about that.
No.
The thought never crossed my mind until I remember sitting at 30th AG and first time talking to drill sergeants and stuff.
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Yeah. And that's one thing, too, I think high school screws up on, is they really don't prep you for the real world.
Oh,
because you go through high school, you learn a whole bunch of stuff that preps you for college, but it doesn't, even at that, it's kind of lax. Like, they'll prep you for some of the classes that you might have to take, which is even, like I say, lax. But they don't prep you for real life. Like, they don't teach you, this is how you pay bills. This is, how you go buy a car, how you buy a house, how you pay taxes. None of that's taught.
That's why I'm quite thankful for...
Yeah, they really need a class called life skills.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I'm really thankful that I'm in the Army. Because at the end of the day, if I ever need anything, I'll call my team leader. Because the dude joined the Army before I was in high school. He joined in 07. I wasn't even in high school in 07.
Damn.
And I know at the end of the day, if there's stuff that I don't understand, that's life.
Yeah.
But I love that I know I can just call him and go, hey, Sergeant, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I need help with this. If I'm going to go buy that motorcycle, guess what? Before I go buy that motorcycle, I'm going to call up my team leader and be like, hey, Sergeant, can you come help me look at motorcycles? Because he's going to know better than I do at the end of the day. And that's one thing I love about it.
A little safety net's always nice, so you can kind of go back on it for help.
Yeah, you always need that. It's so useful. I just wish people could kind of get a more feel of what responsibility and being on your own is.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If your family is a 30-minute drive away, you are not alone.
Dude,
Yeah.
that reminds me. I have a friend who doesn't live anywhere, but her parents' house. She just goes to class, and then her parents pick her up from college. And she doesn't have to pay. All she has to do is, do some chores and stuff for her parents. So, I guess that's okay, because, she's, it doesn't matter too much to her. But she's never lived on her own. And so, I guess when she finally steps out there and lives on her own, it's going to feel a world of a difference, and she's probably never going to want to go back.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the spooky things of growing up and of being an adult is it's like when we were talking out there when I was taking a smoke is that how you become wise. And I think a lot of people have this misconception of becoming wise is becoming old.
No.
Whereas, I'm 20 years old, but I guarantee you I have more wisdom than some people in their 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have lived experiences. A lot of them are stupid things I've done.
Yeah, and that's where I think a lot of wisdom comes from, is just experience. You've seen it, so you kind of know how to go through it again.
Yeah, that's why I can sit there and I'll talk to these guys, and some of it's for me being stupid, and some of it's also is that I just don't have a safety net.
Yeah.
So I was thrown out into the world, and it's like, okay, you got to find your way. And that's one thing I think is more important in this world than some of what college teaches us. Because college will teach you numbers, college will teach you ways to do things, but at the end of the day, unless you're in academia or you're an engineer for some huge company, your skills at actually working in the world are more important.
Yeah.
Because say you want to work at Walmart and you want to be upper management. At the end of the day, a business class is not going to teach you what it means to be an upper management.
Yeah, it takes a lot more.
Yeah, because a lot of it's personal skills, and a lot of it is just knowing how the world works. You got to look at your people and go, okay, for example, you have to be able to react. So I have really good management in how, if there's a change in my drill schedule, I can call them and go, hey, this is this, and they fix it. Whereas some of these upper management, younger college kids, they don't know. They'll come out and they'll be like, no, it's by the book. Which you can't do in the real world. So that's always very that's learned wisdom from them having once been in the position of the lower worker. So that's your classic wisdom. It's very useful. And I mean, I'll have my moments. You're probably not going to see them on the podcast all that much. My moments are definitely, if you get one-on-one with me, is when I have my very wisdom moments. Well, it's true. The more people I'm around, the goofier I am. If you're one-on-one with me, I'm very serious.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's my personality.
Robert, get out of the room.
Really? I do that with Purple Unicorn all the time. When I get one-on-one with him, I talk to him more because he obviously is the very sheltered
He's
kid.
so naive.
Well, he's a sheltered
Well,
kid.
not naive.
Oh,
yeah, he's actually pretty aware of some things. I'm sorry, that was the wrong word, but yeah, he's sheltered.
So when I talk to him, I definitely kind of have to...
Yeah, and it's always really nice, just like to sit down with your buddy, just a buddy, just sit and talk, just like man to man, talk side to side, like how we usually do. Because I had one guy when I went back home, big military guy. I think he either just got out or he was doing something. But we were helping a friend of ours move out of their house. So he took me to the side. He's like, because we were talking about school and shit. Like, how I'm not really good with like communicating with people. And he's like, dude, you know what? I've taught people before. I'm a pretty good teacher. What I've learned out of all of this, you know what you do? Talk to them like a fucking kid. Makes everything so much easier. Talk to them like you're talking to kids.
Oh, God, yeah. I love the Army has a classic
just like him sitting there talking to me, just one-on-one, kind of like imparting that wisdom. Like, it makes it that much easier to talk to people.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, there's one thing I always like to do, especially when I teach or I do anything, is break down shit Barney style.
Exactly.
Break it down to the lowest common denominator. Like, you always hear college professors talk about this shit of, assume they have a technical knowledge. No. Break shit down Barney style. If you gotta explain what button to push, explain what button to push.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about some professors, that when you go into their class, like, yeah, I know you should go in there with the knowledge that they're expecting, but sometimes, like, I went into, like, my first statics course, and he expected us to be pretty much experts in algebra and geometry. And trigonometry, I'm like, I haven't taken a trig class in like 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, that was high school trig, not college trig. So it's a lot
world
different.
of difference.
Yeah. So, like, I asked him too. I was like, I'm having a little troubles understanding this. Can you explain it? He's like, no, if you don't understand it, go open up a trigonometry book. It's not what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you statics.
That's wrong. That's what he is here for.
I'm like, that's what you're here for, to explain what I'm not understanding. Like, I can, like, if you explain this, like, I can understand what you're talking about in a world of difference.
Well, that's the problem with the whole concept of college, is because what you're learning for example, in my NZ class, what you're paying $1,500 to learn, I guarantee you could find a book on it online for free, and it would basically explain everything you need.
Yeah, pretty much. I can go buy a textbook and teach myself this stuff, or go on YouTube and find a video.
What you're really paying for is the diploma.
Yeah. You're just paying for that certification.
Yeah.
I did it.
No, like, most college students by the end of this are going to be paying like between like $60,000 to $80,000, and it's just for a piece of paper that tells them that they've done something.
That's why I know for higher level academia, I do agree college is very important. If you are a scientist, if you are an engineer, it's important. But if it's anything else, if it's any socially related work, meaning you're in business, you're a fucking doctor. Because in doctor, you don't learn that till medical school. The college portion of medical for doctors is pointless.
Yeah.
They don't learn anything relating to their duties until medical school, which is stupid as all hell. Law?
Yeah,
Guess what?
It's nothing.
The school's not going to teach you anything important until there. And then business students, most of what you're going to learn that's important in business, you're not going to learn in the class. They'll teach you this is one thing that we joke about, especially my NCOs joke about when it comes to being infantry, is that there's what doctrine says. Guess what? Doctrine is the skeleton. You base what you actually do off of the skeleton of the doctrine, and you adapt it. So yeah, college will give you the skeleton, but guess what? How useful is just working up the skeleton in the real world? Pretty shitty. I mean, think amateur business owners, Gates, what's fucking Apple?
Jobs, yeah.
Neither of them had a college education. Well, didn't fucking Gates drop out of high school?
Yeah. No, Gates dropped out of college.
Gates dropped out of college.
He dropped out of Harvard, though. I mean, that says a lot that he at least got into it, but that doesn't say anything that he learned anything from it.
It makes me look at it and go, it's kind of an interesting concept. Look at all the big business owners that are self-made, not the familial business owners like a lot of the Fortune 500. Because guess what? Their degrees are not what got them their job. Their family got them their job. You look at people like Gates and Jobs.
Yeah, you see these guys that had a startup, and yeah, they started off in college, whatever, and they left. That shows you that what you learn in the classroom isn't what's going to get you that big billion-dollar company. It's the experience you're going to get actually doing it.
Yeah,
What you learn in the classroom is important to what you're doing, but if you don't get out there and do it,
I mean, I just look at it as it's so funnily and counterintuitive is that the guy running the company was in college for 1 to 2 years. His upper management were college graduates.
yeah.
So it's an interesting thought. What would you rather be at the end of the day? Do you want to be the management, or do you want to be the guy at the top of the company? Because the guy at the top of the company, in a lot of instances, is not a college student. Why? Because I think in a lot of cases, college does not actually prepare you for what
Yeah.
you need to do in the real world.
Yeah, I mean, look at Facebook, like how big of a company it is now, and it's
Mark Zuckerberg literally just threw that together.
pretty much.
It's a genius idea, not gonna lie, but Mark Zuckerberg didn't really use any tactical skill when it came to Facebook. It just
It just kind of happened and it just blew up.
yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of it is.
And now he can buy people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you could just throw money at people, like be my friend, money.
Yeah, I guess that makes you kind of look at the world, especially how the economy's gone to shit right now.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I just want to go to a little island and just say, hey, screw you guys.
Well, no, I mean, it makes me look at the real world right now and kind of go, maybe right now what you should be doing, instead of going to college to fill these upper management positions, do what you want to do. If you have a dream to be an entertainer, go be an entertainer.
Yeah.
If you want to be an electrician, go be an electrician. Stop trying to do this whole, I have to go to college. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Life lesson from Tristan Thompson.
yeah, life lessons are always important.
I know. Today on the Nerdpocalypse, we're giving you life lessons.
No rule that says you can't go political.
What I love about my field, like music, is that technically I don't need to have a musical or a degree at all to be successful. Like, I'm just here, to increase my skills because my professor is really good and I'm learned a lot from him and I've become a better player. And I think that's important. But in my field, you don't have to have anything. You can just go and audition for a world famous orchestra. I mean, it's very hard to get into those, yes, but you get into it. They don't care if you have a degree or not. They just care if you're good. And if you're good, you're in. You're set for life, and that's all that matters.
Man, that's one of the biggest things about the entertainment industry is that if you're good and if you can stay good.
Or if you have dumb luck.
Yeah.
Dumb luck is also really important in entertainment.
It is. Yeah.
It's one of those moments where I kind of, maybe it's the revelation that people miss, is that college is not the gateway it once was.
Yeah, back then it really was a gateway.
Because you think in the 60s, yeah, if you went to Harvard, you were guaranteed to be set for life. Nowadays?
No.
I mean, you look at UT Austin. UT Austin, you pay significantly more money than UT Arlington. But, I mean, I know people that have left UT Austin and gone to UT Tyler and said the education is about the same, only costs about $10,000 less.
No, yeah, and you got to look at a lot of these kids too, because in any field you're going into, the medicine, engineering, law, but by the end of the day, it's not really what you've learned and what you can do with what you learned. It's more or less who you know, because at the end of the day, they're going to get you a job.
Oh yeah, it's like if you want to work in government, it's not how good you are, it's whose dick are you sucking.
Pretty much.
That's really a nice way of putting it. If you want to work in politics, you're not going to get anywhere in politics if you're not sucking up to somebody. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think political leaders right now are not the leaders that people like to think they are. They're there because they sucked up to somebody or somebody sucked up to them. And they appeal to their constituents. Which is the same with higher level military now. Generals are no longer combat promoted. They're all politically promoted.
Yeah.
Which is kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I think the last combat general was Stormin' Norman. And he's been gone for a hot minute now. And it seems obviously very counterintuitive for a wartime enterprise.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it shows it, how politically oriented it has become. And networking, while incredibly important, I mean, networking at the end of the day is one of the most important things you can do.
Oh, definitely.
It's become such a thing. It's that nobody cares how good you are at your job sometimes. Like, you want to get that good job, well, so what? You're fucking good. The other dude who knows more people is going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a...
And it's just such a buggered up system right now.
Yeah.
I look at kind of how the world is right now, and I think we need to make a big change. I mean, I just do not agree with the path anywhere in the world are taking right now. because we've kind of, I think in a lot of ways, we've forgotten a lot of the more important things. And I mean, not in any one, not religiously motivated, not politically, any way. It's just that the way we look at the world right now, we're looking at it wrong. Like, we're trying to get through college to get this degree, to do this, and we're basically working our whole lives, and what is the outcome? Not a whole hell of a lot. I just say nowadays, do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy, or at least try. Because, I mean, like, why not?
Oh yeah, that's
What's the point in
that's
not
what
trying?
I've learned. If I've learned anything in my time in college, it's that find the one thing that makes you happy and just do it. Because, you know, if you do something that makes you happy, you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, you will, believe me.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
you'll definitely work, but you know, if you're having fun while you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta go for it.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be days where you're like, oh god, man, I hate my job. But then there's going to
Yeah.
be days you're going to be like, this is the best job in the world.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we very much so as a people, as a species, have forgotten, is that we try to follow these railroaded paths, and we forget that at the end of the day, nothing we really do here matters, because guess what? We're an evolved primate on a blue organic rock, hurtling through space in a backwater section of the Milky Way galaxy in a supercluster. Guess what? The universe is a big place. Our planet could get wiped out and the universe wouldn't even so much as notice. So, why are we so worried about all these other things? Why don't we just do what makes us happy? I mean, obviously, ignoring criminally sanctioned situations, what's the point of not just like, hey, if what you're doing, like, if you, yet again, there's people who want to be stand-up comedians, go for it. Yeah, you might not make it, but you might make it. I think at the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and you'll enjoy yourself along the way, whether you make it or not, you know?
Yeah, I mean, whether you become the new Kurt Cobain or you're just working in San Fran, working stand-up comedies at night,
Oh yeah.
I mean, as long as you at the end of, because it's like, it's one thing I once heard is that at the end of every man's life, he's nothing but a story. So make sure yours is a good story.
Oh yeah.
So that's all that really matters. Because, I mean, no matter what you do, yeah, Einstein, he's going to be remembered for hundreds of years. But that's not really what matters at the end of the day. I've known men that will never, a man called Walter Stevens, he will never be remembered in history books. But I guarantee you I'll never forget him a day in my life. Because he was just one of those men, he could walk into a store, meet someone and walk out, and he knows everything about that person's life. He's one of those people. Everyone loves him. He'll never be written about in a history book. I think that's something we definitely forget, is that we need to stop aiming for this whole convoluted concept. We might just need to step back a little and go, what makes me happy? And to learn to live. Remember, at the end of the every day, every man's going to die.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us forget to live. I think that's a really crucial part of life we've all forgotten. So it looks like shit's gotten real deep.
You got deep
And-
today, guys.
Midnight on the
Deeper than a
Nerdpocalypse.
vagina.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
I think we'll have. I mean, I think we could probably do that. I mean, we'll do some politics, do some life lessons.
Oh yeah, we got to take an episode. You know, just kind of kick back and just talk about
Well,
what's going on.
State of affairs in the world.
Yeah.
Kind of get to hear some of my ramblings on about the world and stupid
Yeah.
shit I've done. Don't worry, stories of dumb things I've done will appear sooner or later. I've got a whole list of them. Believe me, I do.
Oh, you'll hear them sooner than you think.
But yeah, it's been a fun show. Hope you guys had fun listening. So, this is Pi signing off.